a little dark. We're going to keep it that way. Here, I'll move this. It's a little cold in the house. So, yeah. There's a cat in my lap. There's a cup of coffee right there. What else do I need? It's time for the show. In 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Monday, June 15th, 2020. My name is Jeremy, and I have the wrong mug. This is my first cup of coffee. Whoops. No idea. Oh, that's good. That's my first bit out of a bag of Guatemalan coffee from Costco. Apparently, I'm really tired. Just grabbed the mug I used yesterday, because I usually just rinse it out and use it for a couple days. And of course, during the week, that means the first cup mug. But the first cup mug is sitting in the dish drain. This is the challenge with doing a show before coffee, because you're not awake and weird things happen, like using the wrong mug. It's not the worst thing in the world, right, cat? There's a cat in my lap. This has been her MO lately. She's really wanted to be in my lap all the time. Slightly annoying, but right now it's kind of sweet. You see? Oh, that requires a lot of camera work. We're not going to do that. Well, I hope you had a great weekend. I was outside working in the yard pretty much nonstop for 48 hours, but for 2 days. The deck is almost done. We're like 95% done, but the lumber delivery lacked a few things. Stacy says, keeping you warm. Yes, the cat is keeping me warm. I'm sure that's exactly her motivation. She's sniffing my beard. So we've got all the hard work done, and now just the deck boards to put down, which I will call today and get them to send the rest. But it was an adventurous weekend. It really was. Got to learn about concrete and a bunch of other things to do with framing and in between when I wasn't needed. And Joey was doing the work, and I was pretty much twiddling my thumbs waiting for the next part that I could help with my limited skills. I was off doing plants, weeding herbs, and what else did we do? Did some weed whacking, had a fire, transplanted and planted stuff in bigger pots. It was great weather. I mean, yesterday I think was like 60 to 65 and sunny all day. Bugs weren't around for most of it. It was a good day. I was really pumped about it. And I'm feeling it today. A lot of physical activity this weekend, and I don't know about you, but when I move around a lot, when I get a lot of movement, I feel it's like that right level of sore. Like I'm just a little bit sore. It reminds me I did something, and I just know what my body can do, and I just feel good, and it's great. And what's going on today? Today's Monday, so I got meetings all day, client stuff all day. There's an episode. I don't even remember what number today is. I have a hard time keeping track. Excuse me. I'm guessing you all have a hard time keeping track, which is completely understandable. Oh, you know what else happened? So I've been having some intermittent internet issues Thursday onward, and it was frustrating, but come back, pretty quickly. And so finally on Saturday, I had time, and it was terrible. It was just non-functional. So I got on the chat with Comcast because I have to use Wi-Fi calling here, and it wasn't working because the internet was down almost entirely. It was barely functional, not enough for a call. And so 90 minutes later, the guy tells me I can't send somebody out because of COVID. And, he was an international person. His English was good, but not great, and I was frustrated and take it out on him. He even appreciated it. He said, I appreciate you being kind. I'm guessing he gets yelled at a lot. Managed to get somebody to call me from Comcast, which surprisingly went through. And that person was insistent that there was a problem with my modem. And half hour into that, I see a Comcast truck drive by and slow down. I said, hold on, I'm going to run out. And I ran out and flagged the guy down. He said, yeah, this whole road's down. We're working on it. I'm like, oh. So 2 hours of my time invested in this. Neither of these two techs said, oh, look, this whole street's having problems. Thanks, Comcast. But everything's working great now. There was a point where the first guy was telling me, oh, well, you've got to do this to your modem. I said, okay, but what if it doesn't come back up? Then I have no way to communicate with you. He's like, He didn't care. Oh, this is a fun one. Miss Shirley Meyer. I think you'll all like this one. A little bit different. So, Ms. Meyer was, I think referral is probably the right word, from Teal James Gladden, Mr. Gladden, or TJ, as I think his friends refer to him, Mr. TJ Gladden. And she's done a bunch of stuff. And at first glance, you might think, oh, this person's not a martial artist. Because it's not the way... Her stories, that wasn't the first place she went. They weren't, hey, here's all this martial arts stuff about me. She really embraced the goal we have of bringing people in from different martial arts backgrounds and talking about how martial arts has impacted and changed their lives. And that's her. I think if she were to describe herself, I don't think martial artist would be at the top of the list. But she certainly is a martial artist, and she's spent plenty of time training and teaching. And I found that really interesting. Martial arts has such broad impact. I think that maybe that's why the 510 episodes in, the show continues to fascinate me, because we get to talk to these people who are just so diverse. And I think that's great. More coffee. Definitely more coffee. I went to bed early because I was so sore. Well, not sore, just physically tired. I went to bed about 9. Watched some television. Made cauliflower tater tot nachos. Probably ate too much. But I'd been moving all day. I was so hungry. Had a beer. I don't usually have a beer, but I had a beer. It was tasty. And let's take a look at the stuff that you all have written in. Right? Because that's the heart of this show. Okay, we've got 3 quotes and a question, which I will answer after. So first, 3 quotes from Frank. As always, thank you to Frank. Shout out to Frank. Dream big, stay positive, work hard, and enjoy the journey. Urijah Faber, who is a UFC MMA fighter. Dream big, have goals, right? Stay positive, believe in yourself, work hard, put in the work, and enjoy the journey. Don't focus so much on the goal. If you only care about the goal, the end point, once you reach it, you're probably not going to be happy for long. But if you can find a way to enjoy the journey, if you can enjoy the training, if you can enjoy let's take the example of a hike. Most of you know I enjoy hiking. I hike Probably less frequently than I want to, but still pretty frequently compared to most people. Excuse me. And what are the two best parts of the hike? Well, the two best parts are the top and getting back to the bottom. And if you want to have a third one, it would be the beginning of the hike because you're all excited. But if that was all that was enjoyable, what about all the time in the middle? Being at the top and getting back down, those are moments. What about all the moments in between? The hours in between? If you don't find a way to enjoy those, it's not worth your time. So when we talk about whatever your goal is, let's take martial arts. Let's say you are training for a competition. Let's pick that as an example because it's a pretty clean-cut example. If you're training for a competition and the only thing that is going to bring you any satisfaction or joy is winning first place of that competition, you're missing so much of an opportunity. Because in theory, you're getting better as you're training. And there should be joy, pride in getting better. There should be some enjoyment in the opportunity to present yourself to others in competition, to quote unquote battle others, whatever the type of competition is. And recognize that you've improved yourself throughout this process and now there's a final test at the end. The people in this world who are able to enjoy the journey are the ones who accomplish the goals the most. Think about that. The people at the gym in the best shape, they didn't just have a goal to lose 20 pounds and call it good. They enjoy going to the gym. The best martial artists enjoy training. We've heard from a number of them on the show that they train every day. They don't have to. They choose to. They love to. So whatever it is you're doing, if you can find a way to enjoy the journey, the process, you're that much more likely to achieve the goal and, let's face it, not feel like you've wasted your time if you don't get there. This is a really good coffee. Right, Cat? Cats don't drink coffee. Things live by moving and gain strength as they go. Bruce Lee. Things live by moving and gain strength as they go. How much life is there in non-movement? If you were to make a list of all of your favorite things, they probably require some manner of movement. Going to a nice restaurant means leaving the house. Good morning. It's all movement. And it's from that movement that we gain momentum, we gain energy, we gain that life, and that becomes strength. This isn't how I would express this, but I see what Bruce Lee's saying here. Okay. As you might imagine, I'm pretty anti just sitting all day. That's why I wear this. I didn't wear it yesterday because it would have gotten beaten up. Actually, I don't think I wore it all this weekend. But I did plenty of movement. And when I think about the things that I've enjoyed most in life, the things that have given me strength, the things that have put a smile on my face, they all require some manner of movement. I don't mean movement as in walking or hiking. I mean movement as in I had to physically move. I had to get out of my space. I had to get out of my house. I had to get out of the car. I couldn't just sit. objects in motion, right? That whole thing. Yeah, there's something there. We got another quote from Bruce Lee, I think. Thank you to Bruce Lee for a never-ending supply of quotes to respond to. A good martial artist does not become tense but ready, not thinking yet not dreaming, ready for whatever may come. When the opponent expands, I contract, and when he contracts, I expand. And when there is opportunity, I do not hit, it hits all by itself. So this is a really good explanation of what I only know conceptually as Satori, which is a Japanese concept, kind of a unready readiness. And it's only happened for me a few times. Although lately it's been happening more and more over the years in non-martial arts situations. Because let's face it, I spend far more time not training than training. You know, it's when something starts to fall in the kitchen and I grab it without even thinking about it. My hand just goes and grabs the handle of the spoon, and I didn't react, I acted. Because to react, you have to process what's going on, really. And what Bruce Lee's talking about here is this idea that we can reach a point in our training where if you can relax and just be, your training takes over. If you've trained long enough, things just happen. And one of the biggest challenges to that type of training or movement is adrenaline. I've noticed this. Yesterday, I can't believe I forgot to say this. Yesterday, Sensei Craig Wareham of Karate International in Exeter, New Hampshire, a school that's been very, very supportive of whistlekick, invited me to participate as an instructor for their virtual karate camp. They've been doing this camp for 19 years or something, and this was the first year that they didn't do it in person, because for obvious reasons. And so I set up and I taught a modified version of the session that I taught over Zoom a couple months ago called The Magic of Slow. And this was primarily for children. And we had a lot of fun. It worked really well. And the reason that I like teaching drills at a very, very slow speed is that when people go slow enough that they don't second guess themselves, when that adrenaline doesn't take over and tell them, oh, I have to show off, I have to do, a lot of really special things happen. And so Satori, this description from Bruce Lee, however you want to look at it, kind of requires not being amped up. And unfortunately, in my experience, most schools don't train slow. So a lot of people never get to experience that. And that's what I'm starting to become very, very passionate about teaching. You give me an hour with anybody, let me break them down, teach them some slower movement, I'll make them better. I don't care what they're doing. That's my promise. I've never had it go otherwise. Sorry, Fuzz. I bumped her. All right, we've got a question here from Russian Jen. And I know who that is. I agree with something you've said regarding participation awards, that the very term is an oxymoron. However, as one who tends to gravitate towards the tiniest competitors, I am always torn about this. The very act of participating in competition is something that, for many, is monumentally challenging. And therefore, I love to see their bravery in participating honored. Giving it a different name seems a lame suggestion, but the thought occurred to me that we could call them competition awards, and make them smaller than place awards. Yet a significant mark that their courage did not go unnoticed. What are your thoughts? I think so. Yes, I agree with what you're saying, and I do. And I think we reposted an episode or something recently, just in the last 24 hours, and maybe that's what you're responding to, about the episode that I did on participation awards and how I think that they're an utterly terrible thing. Do I understand and agree that at times it is difficult for people to participate? Yes, I do. But why do I think participation awards are so terrible? Because it's rewarding the wrong thing in the wrong way. Whether I'm an instructor or a parent, my job is to help raise the child, the student, right? To help foster their growth. If I teach someone that by showing up, you are rewarded, that does not build the right toolkit for life. Show me a situation in real life where people get rewarded for showing up. If you simply show up to your job, yeah, you'll get a paycheck, but not for long. You will be fired. If you simply show up to a sports team, you will not play. If you show up to the mountain and you don't hike, you won't enjoy it. Now, there are things where showing up is a step on the journey, and it's an important one. And for some people, it's the hardest one. Yes. But if we're tying someone's minimal effort to some kind of external aspect. Oh, it's a great question from Gabe. I'll answer that in a moment. I don't think it sets them up for success. I understand the instinct because you're trying to get them to take these steps. You're trying to help them. You're incentivizing. That's what it is. You're incentivizing behavior. Gabe's question was, would your opinion change if it was a first-timers division? Yeah. But you know what I would do in that case? I would not give out any first, second, third place trophy. I would not give out any awards. I would say, if you are that nervous, let's put everybody in this, everybody who wants to participate can go through the motions in this division. We will watch you. We will score you. Back to Base Jim is saying, life is hard and you better learn how to handle it. Yes. And that's a blunt way of saying what I'm saying. I'm going to take the hood off. I've warmed up enough. There's no perfect answer to this. Oh, it's Casper. Hi, Casper. You changed your screen name. So I watch this. Many of you know that I attend, and not recently, but referee at times at competitions, and I watch the kids' divisions, and I see first, second, third, sometimes fourth, and then sometimes the person awarding trophies will put everybody else in a group and say fifth. Some of the kids don't get it. Most of them get it. And they look at it and they say, there's something off here. The only reason we need participation awards is because we over-prioritize the end result. So let's take it back. This works out perfectly. Let's take it back to the very first quote from Urijah Faber. where we talked about enjoying the journey. If we are teaching people that first place is the only thing that matters, then yes, we need to have participation awards to get them on that journey, to hopefully get them there. Otherwise, they're going to feel like a failure with anything other than first place. But if we teach them to enjoy the journey, how many times has a kid, a novice student, been incentivized to go to a tournament because they might win a trophy, or they'll get a trophy? Maybe if they work hard, they'll win a trophy. What about incentivizing it as you can work hard and get better and make new friends and get feedback from other martial artists about how to get better, and you get to be around a bunch of other people that you've never met, and we'll be there as a family, and we can spend the day together, and we can go out to eat afterwards, and we can see how hard you've worked compared to other people. You think that kid needs a participation trophy? I don't. I distinctly remember as a young kid crying my eyes out because I did not place where I wanted to. And it made me work harder. There's some other details in there about, my childhood and everything that I won't get into. But it's frustrating to lose or to not win. But it builds resilience. If you want to get good at something, you're going to stumble, you're going to fall, and there's always going to be somebody who is or is on the verge of being better than you. I think a lot of what we do in life today sets people up for a false reality that does not exist. I think some of the ways we approach education, martial arts education and school education, is... What are you doing? What are you doing? No, you can't sit behind me. It's her thing. She likes to sit behind me, and I can't lean back, and it drives me nuts. What? We need to correlate effort to results, not effort to external validation. That's the problem. It took me a while to get there. That is the nutshell of the problem. Because you can't control what other people do. You want to say hi? Look at the camera. Hey. No, she's not thrilled about that. When I hosted a tournament 4 years ago, one of the biggest challenges I had was that I did not want to have participation awards. But the people helping me put it on said everyone is too used to them. It's going to look funny. So we did a really low-grade ribbon. It didn't say 5th place. It didn't say participation award. It just said Whistlekick Martial Arts Showdown 2016. We could have used it for anything. We could have sold them as bookmarks. It was basically, here's a gift if you were, I think, 12 and under or something, to show that you attended. Maybe we call them that, an attendance ribbon. And in that case, you give them to everybody. If you want everyone to walk away with something, make sure everyone walks away with that same thing, because it evens the playing field. You attended. Now everybody's got a ribbon. 30 minutes. All right. Let's wind it down. Good questions today. Great quotes. And you gave me something mildly controversial to respond to. I'll get into it. I don't mind. I hope you all go check out that episode with Shirley Meyer, Ms. Shirley Meyer. I had a lot of fun with that. I got the sense she had a lot of fun, and I think you'll enjoy listening to it. If you haven't, make sure you subscribe to that show, to this show, here on YouTube, in your podcast feed. Help us out. When you subscribe, when you download, those numbers help. Even if you never buy anything, even if you never contribute a penny, while I do ask for that, it's not a requirement. Thank you, Stacy. Stacy loves her whistlekick medals. She did great at that tournament. The number one way people can help is by helping us grow the shows, and that's from subscribing and watching and sharing and liking and commenting and all that stuff. If you do all that, that's great, and that helps tremendously. And you have my undying gratitude. If you're new to the show, make sure you subscribe, you turn on notifications. We do the show every weekday, 6:30 a.m. Eastern here on YouTube. And hopefully we'll start building up some more questions and comments and such. So drop those below, and I'll respond to them tomorrow. Have a great day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Peace.